Would you consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends, probably.
Is it going to be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all going to be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
Both making money.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him bleed.
Oh, true. Okay.
Gervonta Tank Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him back and forth battles and whatnot. It's gonna be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for
Gervonta Davis recently opened up about the cancellation of his highly anticipated fight with Lamont Roach, shedding light on the situation. Fans were left disappointed as the much-hyped matchup fell apart due to unexpected circumstances, despite the excitement it had generated.
Okay. So I do it for myself, but I do it for the people with me. My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you.
They gonna celebrate with me. You hear me?
Don't bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
pops.
On my kids, he was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was shaking.
Don't say, bro.
That's cap. But it's got to be more than that. Nah, he's strategic. He's setting guys up. He been boxing since a little kid, just like I've been boxing since a little kid. And you can tell, like, with the experience. Even with his last fight with Frank Martin, you can see Frank Martin was more so an amateur. Like, the experience he got is not on the level of, like, Tank.
Yeah. Tank all day, baby. Tank all day. Easy work. Easy work. My money goes forward. All right, guys. Right in the front, right here. Right here in the front rest there. Easy work, man. Come on, back down here, please. Right here. Back to the camera in the back. Go in the back of the line.
The Davis versus Roach fight brought high stakes and intense prep. Davis honed his skills and stayed in top shape, aiming to cement his spot among boxing's elite. For Roach, it was a golden chance to take on a tough rival and chase a career-defining win.
Not a big 35. I don't see why people like, oh, you brought up a smaller guy, woo-de-woo, blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, like, to me personally, I'm not stunned that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to keep saying that. They're going to keep saying that.
Cordial, but because he believes he's going to knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change.
I mean, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody. Like, anyway, but if you're saying specifically pick me because I'm gonna be an easy cakewalk, everybody in the world knows that's not gonna happen. I mean, like, that's not gonna happen. Him personally, he know that. I think he chose me because I am gonna be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Really?
In his interview, Davis shared his deep frustration over the cancellation, explaining that he had poured countless hours into training and made significant sacrifices to ensure he was fully prepared for the fight.
About, oh, he's doing this fight for money, and Tank is strategically picking him because in the amateur world, you guys fought twice, right? And you lost, what, both times in the amateur fight. So are you all friends? Are y'all cordial? First, what's the relationship?
We're cordial, for
You're
sure.
cordial?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
He cool to me.
He's cool to you?
Yeah.
And you haven't heard that he said anything differently?
Oh yeah, for sure.
He has?
Nah, he hasn't.
He has not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm confirming that. He hasn't said
anything.
He has
not said anything differently. So does it confirm people's suspicion that he purposefully picked you, not only because you're cordial, but because he believes he's going to knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change?
Man, you in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody.
The cancellation news hit hard, not just for him, but for his dedicated team who had given their all. Davis stressed that calling off the fight wasn't his choice. He acknowledged the heartbreak and frustration his fans felt, sharing in their disappointment while hoping for their understanding in this tough moment.
I think personally, I think he chose me because I am gonna be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis shared that the fight's cancellation was due to unexpected challenges beyond anyone's control. While he didn't go into specifics, he hinted at logistical problems that emerged during the lead-up. Davis expressed deep regret that these issues couldn't be resolved in time. He also acknowledged the hard work both teams put in, showing appreciation for their efforts to salvage the event despite the tough circumstances.
Beat his ass for y'all
do
talk.
Wait,
For
I don't
real.
give a
I better be quiet.
I don't give a if y'all was
all
quiet,
that
if
ski
y'all
mask
was,
and
if y'all
all
was
that.
loud.
We got the
what
whole
y'all
hood
fucking
over
talking
there.
about?
Like twisted up. I don't give a
Y'all
about none
can
of that.
do whatever
I don't
y'all
care about
want.
none
My
of that.
mother, he
I don't
can't
care
stop
about no
nothing
hood,
over
no
here.
none of that.
Not at all.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna him up.
Not at all. Never. Nothing's
But y'all
gonna get
under
up
y'all
over here.
face
What do I look like getting up?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Ain't never gonna stop nothing over here.
And he gonna pay.
Despite the setback, Davis stayed positive, expressing hope and determination to bounce back and return to the ring as soon as he could.
I guarantee he pay for it. I
can't.
I guarantee it.
Calm down. Calm down, brother.
Come to the fight. Come to the fight.
They probably gonna get you up. Look, fool. Hey, fool. This me and you, fool. This me and you, fool.
Tank.
This me and you, fool.
Yeah.
Don't worry about them. They might get you. They gonna trick you off your spot. They gonna trick you off your spot, fool. Don't worry about them.
Come on, stop. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know how I'm coming. Y'all know how I'm coming. So stop it. Y'all gonna make it hard for him. That's what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna make it hard for him.
No, I think Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a dedicated fighter when it comes to training and fighting and making sure that he's in optimal conditions when he steps inside that squared circle. It's going to be a tough night for Roach, but you can never count him out. You know, watching him fight up close and personal, he's sneaky good, which means he can catch you at any time. He can land combinations, sometimes at will, without you even knowing it. You know, he's that sneaky. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But, obviously, Gervonta Davis has the experience. He has the knowledge. He has that mean streak in him that will take you out with any punch.
Many believe the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach fight seems less about true competition and more about generating buzz and cash flow.
Oh, he's doing this fight for money, and Tank is strategically picking him because in the amateur world, you guys fought twice, right? And you lost, both times in the amateur fight. So are you all friends? Are y'all cordial? First, what's the relationship?
We're cordial for
You're
sure.
cordial?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
He cool to me.
He's cool to you.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard that he said anything differently?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He has?
No, he hasn't.
He has not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Right.
confirming that. He hasn't said
He
anything
has not said anything differently. So does it confirm people's suspicion that he purposefully picked you, not only because you're cordial, but because he believes he's gonna knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change?
Man, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody.
They believe Tank picked Roach because he sees him as an easy target, someone he can beat without much trouble. Meanwhile, Roach is seen as taking the fight more for the payday than for the competition.
But because he believes he's gonna knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change.
Man, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody. Like, anyway, but if you're saying specifically pick me because I'm gonna be an easy cakewalk,
yeah,
everybody in the world know that's not gonna happen. I mean, like, that's not gonna happen. Him personally, he know that. I think he chose me because I am gonna be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Really?
Lamont Roach sees his fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis as more about pride than money. He calls Tank an easy challenge, even likening him to a piece of cake. Roach, the 130-pound champ, points out that Tank competes at 135 pounds and questions why Tank isn't targeting tougher opponents in higher weight classes like Canelo Alvarez. However, Roach acknowledges that a Tank versus Canelo matchup is unrealistic since Canelo fights at 168 pounds, far above Tank's division.
Evidence of what your record, because you had to get, if I'm not mistaken, you had to get permission to be bumped up to that weight class of lightweight in order to fight, because you're in a what range of 130?
Yeah, I'm the champion at 130.
You're the world champion at 130 and he's 135. Yeah, so aren't there other fighters he could have fought within an upper weight class like Canelo? I've heard a lot of people say, why isn't he fighting Canelo rather than Roach? What's up with that?
They want that man to fight Canelo, man?
They do.
Oh, no, that's crazy.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
That's crazy.
Lamont Roach isn't chasing a payday in his upcoming fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Roach sees Tank as an easy target, calling him a simple challenge, almost a piece of cake. Roach confidently highlights that he's the reigning champion at 130 pounds, while Tank competes in the 135-pound division.
Why was it so easy when he fought Frank Martin?
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fighter when he's fighting me.
What's your game plan?
Whoop his ass. I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock his head off.
He argues that if Tank Davis was really seeking a tough challenge, he could have faced fighters in higher weight classes such as Canelo Alvarez. However, Roach highlights that the idea of Tank fighting Canelo is unrealistic, given that Canelo competes at 168 pounds in the super middleweight division.
Tank says that he's going to retire at the end of next year. Do you think he has one foot out the door?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was a mistake for him to say that, especially in front of me. So, you know, I'm going to just take advantage of him and show him why he shouldn't have said that or why he shouldn't be contemplating that.
Boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult recently shared his thoughts on the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach fight, expressing his frustration over what he sees as a mismatch. He believes Tank is being avoided by top fighters in the division, which has forced him to face less challenging opponents like Roach in order to stay active.
Here's my take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta "Tank" Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson ducked him. Lomachenko ducked him openly. El Rayo didn't want to fight this year. He wanted to fight next year. Another thing is, I was hearing that Tank wanted it at 135 and rehydration, all kind of shit. So, but I don't know how true that is, which it wouldn't shock me if that was true. Either way, for whatever reason, El Rayo fell apart. The options were just getting diabolical. All right, I understand that. At the same time, Lamont Roach versus Tank is trash. If Devin Haney announced he was fighting Lamont Roach coming up from 130 next at 135, I'll say that shit's trash. Let me tell you this. To me, Gervonta is far better than Devin Haney. So it's trash, bruh. It's trash.
Floyd Schofield, a fellow lightweight, shared his thoughts on Gervonta Davis's mindset ahead of the Roach fight. Schofield believes that Tank would perform better if he concentrated on his opponent instead of letting distractions like social media and personal matters take away his focus.
Be in good spirits if I had an 8 today. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Obviously, an important fight for you. Every fight at this point is an important fight for you because of what you know is looming. It's close. I was just talking to Oscar about, you know, another successful fight. You're this close to a potential Gervonta Davis fight. Like, what does that feel like for you at this stage in your career?
It feels good because, you know, this is the things that we worked for. You know, me being number 2 in the WBA, it's just like a dream come true almost. I didn't collect the belt yet, but I worked my whole life for this, me and my dad, So when the opportunity presents itself, we're going to be more than ready. But it's a dream come true, really.
Roach confidently addresses concerns about his weight class, reassuring fans that he's comfortable fighting at 130 pounds, despite some opinions suggesting he's too small for the division.
Obviously, Tank isn't the biggest 135 pounder. Everybody fights is damn near bigger than him. I think the only person that was smaller than him was Pitbull. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just in height and stature. He was, technically bigger than Tank too. But Tank is comfortable at 135, so I don't blame him for fighting that way. But he's not a big 35. I don't see why people like, oh, you brought up a smaller guy, woo-de-woo, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, to me personally, I'm not stunned that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to keep saying that. They're going to keep saying that. You know what I'm saying? I fight at 130 because that's what I campaign at. That's where I started my career. That's where I campaigned. That's why I worked my way up to a world title. And that's what I was going to do. My plan was always to move up to 35 and win another title. So it just happened a little, a little earlier than normal.
Yeah, but I mean, you fought at 35 before.
It was just, so technically, them wasn't just 35 fights. Like when a boxer starting their career, they don't necessarily have to make 130 pounds because we're not in title contention or none of that. So the opponents that I was getting, the opponents that were there or were available, opponents that were selected for me were probably bigger or they just couldn't make weight. Like the fight that you probably talking about that occurred at like 40, I was supposed to fight at 32. He was 8 pounds overweight. They made him lose weight. I went ate breakfast and weighed in. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. That's how it be in the beginning of people's career. That's why different people fight at different weights and everybody doesn't necessarily fight under their weight that they campaigning or at the weight that they campaigning technically when they start off. You know what I'm saying?
Lamont Roach was confused and frustrated when Tank Davis announced on social media that their fight was canceled. Roach quickly denied the claim, emphasizing he was still training for the bout. In an Instagram story, he responded, "They keep asking me about that. Not true. I'm locked in. Nothing's changed. March 1st, Brooklyn."
Honestly, I worked my ass off to get right here, so it's about time.
Lamont, when Tank says that he's going to retire at the end of next year, do you think he has one foot out the door?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was a mistake for him to say that, especially in front of me. So, I'm going to just take advantage of him and show him why he shouldn't have said that or why he shouldn't be contemplating that.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say that?
I ain't worried about that shit.
What advantage do you feel like you have going into this fight?
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring with.
Stephen A. Smith, a well-known sports commentator, shared his thoughts on the Davis versus Roach fight, suggesting Roach could be at a disadvantage due to his smaller size. Smith believes Davis, being the bigger fighter, may have the edge. He also pointed out the weight difference, noting that Davis is moving up a weight class, which could impact the fight's outcome.
And lastly, Stephen A., last name I, of course, want to throw your way is Gervonta Davis. I know you believe in his skills.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
What do you think of his fight with Roach? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think Roach is too small. I think Roach is too small. And that's my issue. I'm not questioning the skill set or anything like that. But it was similar to Frank Martin. You know what I mean? This guy comes in there and you got 18 fights. And I remember watching that pre-fight press conference when he was annoying Gervonta Davis so much and he cussed by accident. Excuse me. He cussed by accident. He was like, "Ooh, making this up. He hurt me in sparring." And I knew Gervonta was going to come for him. And sure enough, that's what he did. Walked right towards him from round one on.
What do you think about the cancellation of the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight? Share your thoughts and join the conversation in the comments below.